Hello everyone, JuanGamer54 back in another video, and today I got a cup of mocha with me this time because I learned from my mistake. Because now we have Five Nights at Freddy's, Tales from the Pizzaplex, number 2, Happs. This is the second book of the Tales from the Pizzaplex series, and you can expect the read-throughs coming to the second channel, Alex the Wolf, which will be a link in the description below. You know how this works. I read the stories, and now I will give you my honest opinions and my honest review on them. That means I'm not trying to spoil anything of these stories. You can go ahead and read them yourselves, or watch the first two parts of the first story on my second channel. So without further ado, spoilers ahead. Hopefully no spoilers ahead. Let's do this. The first story, actually, we go with Help Wanted. Oh, wait, we should probably get a picture that's suited for this. Hold on. Alright, there we go. So, just like I said last time, the first story isn't the title story, but rather the second story. So we first gotta tackle the first story, Help Wanted. In this story, we follow Steve, who is a janitor working at Gas Sub. Far from the video game design job he hoped for to get with his digital art and digital skills. He spent his free time working at a family-friendly video game, having posted 2 online games already. He's also in a relationship with a girl named Amanda, which, I mean, I'll be honest, is not really going anywhere. One day, Steve was approached by a talent agent for Fazbear Entertainment named Brock Edwards. Steve is familiar of the old pizza place and also aware of the murders that occurred there, along with paranormal events. Paranormal events, my bad. Having seen Steve's previous games, Mr. Edwards offers him a job in creating 4 horror games based on the accusations of the company, as a way for them to rebrand and move on from them. Mr. Edward adds that Steve would be moved to a more spacious and luxurious home with personal servants to do his chores as an added bonus for his work, and also to prevent the game from being leaked. Steve rejects the offer due to him wanting to remain a family-friendly developer, as well as being morally conflicted of creating games based on events that were most likely real, and not wanting to be away from Amanda. Already I can tell this story is like a mixture of reality and fiction. What I mean by that is that we know in the FNAF lore, there was a developer that made the games to make fun of these quote-unquote events of Fazbear's past, which we all know is VR Help Wanted, and maybe the games we played as, based on MatPat's video regarding his theories about the books, mainly on Into the Pit, and claiming Oswald is our developer, being our developer in the game lore. And the story does have some, well, parallels to Scott Cawthon's own story. For those who didn't know, Scott Cawthon had to do some dead-end jobs, and he did work on games at night. I'm not saying that Steve is Scott, though it's very interesting that both names start with the S, and both are making games with the Fazbear name, and Steve's game, Chip Off the Old Block, could be a reference to Scott's old game, Chipper and Sons Lumber Core, which is lighthearted games before the creators started transitioning to horror-based ones. But, you know, it's interesting seeing the parallels right there. As for the story itself, again, it's not like much tension is there, but it comes in small doses. Like, maybe in the middle, it started giving you, like, small doses of tension, so you don't have to wait till the end like Fatality did. The tension's still there, but it's, like, evolving over time. So you kind of have to wait till the end where the tension, dies down. I will say that there was a character named DJ Dan who claims himself to be Music Man, so there you go, MatPat. Music Man! I just wanted to say that. As for the ending, dang. Just dang. I feel bad for Steve. This man just wanted to live his dream, and this book just crushed his dreams like an ant and took everything from him, and then gave it back? Boy howdy, this story I will talk on more when I do my theories on the matter. As for the story itself, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. This story is just wow. And this is the first story. How will the others fare? You're about to find out. The next story is our title story, which is Happs. In this story, Aiden gets elbowed in the eye by a guy in Fazbear Blast, or Fazer Blast. His friend, Jace, tells him to ignore the bullies. Aiden was considered the unpopular kid in school after being humiliated when he fell off the stage during a talent show. Sometimes he just wishes he could be invisible and be left alone. In spite of that, Jace was one of Aiden's close friends. Jace suggested they go play in the Freddy Fortress, a tube maze made from noise-blocking polymer, an animatronic named Happs, an acronym for Helpful Automated Pipe Protection Server, resides there to help kids when they're lost and sanitize the tubes. Let's see. We got a robot who's designed to help kids find their way, despite looking creepy, in tubes that are noise cancelable. I think I can see this turn well in a mile away. I can see what's going on in a mile away. Also, I forgot to mention that we're exactly starting the second story of the second book in the Pizzaplex. While in book 1, it was the third story that was in the Plex. So maybe book 3, which will, if my notes are correct, must be releasing on the first week of November, we'll probably have a story that's centered around the Pizzaplex in the first story. But I'm not holding my breath. Maybe it'll happen in the other books, but I doubt not maybe 3. Anyway, feeling mischievous, the two decide to scare some kids. They succeed, but end up feeling guilty, particularly when one kid doesn't run away and yells at them. Happs appeared, asking if the two are lost. Aiden and Jace tells Hop that they're fine, and he leaves. The duo decide to follow Happs for a while, ending up in a ball pit section. Aiden notices a section of the maze cut off from the rest of them and tries to open it. They get it open and slide down, only to be seemingly fine in a dead end. Instead, it was a mirror partial placed to block off parts of the maze. Happs appears again, saying that Aiden and Jace are lost and should come with him. Hassel is dismissed by the boys, but he continues to insist. Jace ends up kicking Happs, who doesn't defend himself. The pipes loosen and 3 of them fall into the cut section of the maze. Let's see. Kicking a robot in the face, falling down in the cutoff section of the maze, with the robot disappearing right then after. I will now turn you guys to a clip of JonTron.
2 kids gone die tonight.
Now, what do I think of this story? I will say, if you're not a fan of closed spaces, then this story is not for you. As for the tension, it is right there for you. And well, this story is bringing back memories of when I had to deal with Moondrop. So I don't know if this story is supposed to be in reference of that, or maybe something else in FNAF canon. But I will say that the ending will leave your jaw drop. I wish I can tell you what had happened, but I will say that it made me gasp in disbelief that they included it. And I had to bite on my own blanket to not shout to wake everyone in the house from their sleep. It was that effective, guys. I'm telling you. I am giving this story for the first time in this channel. I am giving this story a 10 out of 10. Go and read it. I highly recommend it. I cannot wait to read it again out loud for the rest of y'all in the second channel. Now, I could just end the video by giving Happs a 10 out of 10, but we still have a third story to go through and the epilogue. So let's do this, because I want to get back reading to the second channel to read through it all. We are now following B7, the third story. We follow the adventures of Billy. When Billy was 3 years old, he was hospitalized because he was very sick. Now, 5, he likes watching the TV. In particularly one show, Freddy and Friends, and the idea of being an animatronic, as he wants to be big and strong. He starts acting like an animatronic, and his parents, Dan and Vera, humor him. He keeps acting robotically, which scares his parents. Billy decides to download an update to help him act more like a little boy. I will say that this story is weird. Like, I thought this was going to be mother and father team up to see what's wrong with their son, only to discover their son is being controlled by Freddy or something. Or heck, I would even excuse this being one of the stories of the missing children, or maybe Balloon Boy. But it's like Billy did this all by himself. He just acted like an animatronic by his own free will. Now, I'm not trying to sound mean or anything. I'm sure that due to Billy being sick at 3 years old in the hospital, that might affect his mind progress. And 5-year-olds are inspired a lot when they see something, but you know your imagination has gone too far if the parents are thinking of suing the show itself. I mean, it's so bad that Billy's dad left and never came back. Now, I know I'm a little harsh on Billy, but his dad? I understand if it was hard living that his son is acting like a robot and doing things that, yeah, would be torturous. But the fact that he just left. His mother was more understanding, and technically her mother should have been more firm with the kid. Like, saying like, "Honey, I appreciate you have a wild imagination, but, you're not exactly a robot." But at least she tried to help. I didn't see how the father helped at all. So shame on him. Get Will Smaff and be gone from my pages, fool. Anyways, this story was kind of weird, and I'm pretty sure I was missing something. Maybe I missed a line somewhere that Freddy did control this kid. But it just seems that Billy did all this to himself. Like, the things he did to himself just let me thinking to myself, is this man serious? The ending didn't really do anything for me, to be honest. I mean, it is sad, but the things that Billy didn't really make me feel bad. I mean, I'm not saying he deserved it, but this ending could have been avoided, to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm just not vibing with it. I'm giving this story a 7 out of 10. Maybe when I read it again, I might rank it higher, but at this point, I'm just not vibing with the story ending, or the story in general. Alright, you know what time is. You know what time it is. Epilogue dos. We follow a group of high schoolers this time. Lucy, Jace, Adrian, Hope, and later joining the party, Joel and Wade. They got together and discussed the construction of the Pizzaplex. Lucia and Nick are apprehensive, having heard of the incidents of the old pizzeria the new Pizzaplex was being built over. So, again, FNAF 6. It's the FNAF 6 location. Noah had observed the construction site a couple times, seeing that the new animatronics were already delivered to the premises. Fueled by curiosity, the group decides to investigate. Great, now I gotta play the JonTron clip 3 times now for this, don't I? They notice that the entrance had been sealed up with concrete, but there was a vending opening in the roof that they can go through. They land in the storage room and go out the main area. Endoskeletons laid all over the place, along with growing presence of an odd stench. Everyone look down and discover 11 dead workers, decapitated and disarmed. It's worth noting that these dead workers are the same workers who got ripped to shreds on the first epilogue on the first book. So, just leaving that out there. Terrified, the group tries to escape and only to find the shut they came in had been crushed. With every other door or window sealed with cement, everyone will have to wait for the construction crew to return. Suddenly, the group hears a sound of metallic footsteps coming towards them. They barricade themselves in the storage room, now knowing that they aren't alone. And with that, this ends the review. Overall, this book is good. The first 2 are very much good stories that I recommend reading. I know I do have my doubts on B7, but I promise I will read it again to give it a chance. Heck, maybe you guys can check it out and prove me wrong saying it is a good story. So, like the video so I know you enjoy, comment down below if you're excited for Tales of the Pizzaplex hype train, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to upload daily, as well as subscribe to my other channel, Alex the Wolf YouTube, so you can see the read-through of these stories. This is Juan Gamer 54 signing off.